Alright. 14 variants of Minesweeper, let's go, baby! It's been a while since we've done this. Just because I got a haircut and a logo change doesn't mean I don't like it any less. I haven't played in a while, and I honestly don't know why. Hold on, I need to... Is that working? Oh, God. Oh, no, that ruined the display capture. I can see my mouse. I just need to figure a way that you can see it. It's fine. We'll get there. We try this. Oh! Hold on. And... Hey! That works. Okay. Sweet! Do I fix my camera or anything? No, it's gonna be zoomed in anyway, so I'll just see what it looks like. Okay. So what shall we do today? Because I want to unlock a bunch of this stuff. There's this stuff here. I've not done that. No. Actually, this seems like I have. Ah, there's this too. Okay, so I think the idea is... Because I know that there's going to be a lot of grinding, and I know there's a lot of stuff I still need to unlock and whatnot. Yeah, that's going to take a while. And I don't think any of it can be done unless you do like these down here or something. So, yeah. Right? Yeah, I think I have to unlock those. So yeah, that's that. Just gotta keep going through all this and grinding basically until we got enough done. So I'm just gonna like go round robin and like keep going around. Probably cut a lot of this out and do some of it on my own unless you'd be into like a grind of this. But I will probably not do too much more than an hour today. Cause the thing is, I still have that Room 3 video, which I really want to edit through. And while you're probably seeing that before this, that video was long. That was over 4 hours of recording, maybe 5 hours if I'm not lying. And it's probably going to take me at least the same amount of time, if not, hopefully, not more than 3 hours. So I have a bit of a schedule I would like to try and keep, and I can't do too much of this. But I will probably do some of this in my free time, go back and forth from it from editing, because I assume from this point forward you don't really care about seeing all these new things. You just want to see the new variants and whatnot. But, you know, it's a hassle. Alright. Got my brush ready. Let's see what we can do here. 2 mines in here. 1 mine in here, and then there's going to be a total of 2 mines in here. I don't think that will tell me anything, unfortunately. Yeah, it won't tell me anything. This won't tell me anything. How about this 5? Maybe this 5 can tell me some stuff? Because I know because of these rules, only at the most there can be 2 mines here, and at the most there can only be 2 mines here. So let's look at some things. If I put a mine here, I could only put at the most 1 here, 1 here, and then both these spots would have to be mines, making a total of 5. So that's fun to think about. But what if I made that blank and decided to double mine it up? Well, this is fine. There would only be 1 mine in here, and then we have a bunch of our different areas of blank space. We have to do a blank space here, and a blank space here, and one of those would have to be blank. Probably this one or that one, I don't know. Oh yeah, and also a blank space here. Alright, so that's one thing. And now, what if this was a mine? Like I said, there'd have to be some more occurrences. So let me think about the triangulation again. If I decide to repeat this, this would also not be able to hose a mine. This would not be able to put a mine in. This would not be able to put a mine in. I could do this again, which, crazy enough, creates the same blank spaces and even more, a few extra blank spaces, which were not possible before. Alright, so let's test out the third element. Let's say we did that. Now, obviously, of course, we still, no matter what, always are going to need these to do double blank spaces, which means that this and this can never be mines. Even if the mine was here or here, it won't matter. These two spots are guaranteed to be safe. Woo! Look at that. Already back into the swing of it. Again, great logic behind it. Alright, I think I can start with this 4. It's an easy one. Not all 3 of these can be mines because we can't do triplets. Yeah, see? No 3 in a rows in any direction. Which means automatically this has to be mine, this has to be a mine. You love to see it. And I think I can also confirm that this has to be safe. This spot is safe no matter what. Because if there was a mine here or a mine here, it doesn't matter where. That is 1 out of the 2 other mines that can be placed. Meaning, no matter what, this spot is safe. Because of the diagonal and 3 in a row here. Cool. 2 mines can actually be done. I forgot about that fun little system that they do. And you can just click the numbers because of knowing, like, more than enough of where all the mines would go. That's so fun. Alright, what else can we do? I can put 1 mine here. I can put at the most 2 mines here. I think that has to be a mine. Yeah, there's no way around it. That's 4. That has to be a mine. Cool. No 3 in a rows or anything I can do. Remaining mines / cells. Oh, we are good. We are in expert mode. That is cool. We are in expert mode. I think that got updated, though. It never said, like, mines / cells were remaining of, like, all of that. $20 mines? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5. Oh, so this is the mines left, and this is the cell total left, right? Yeah, I think that's really fucking cool update. That's sick. Okay, pretty cool. All right, let me think about this 5. Where would I place the 1 here and then the 2 here? What if I did this spot? Well, there can only be 1 mine here, making a total of 4. That's not allowed, so that's safe. Haha. And look at this, 3 in a row. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, that's so cool. And 3 in a row. Yep, look, the cell counter goes down, but the mine stays the same. That's so impressive. You can see that, right? Yeah, you can, that's great. Cool. Oh yeah, the 3 out of 10. Would that stay in the thing? Well, I guess for things you don't really need to know about how many are left, it could be a bit of a fun mystery to you. That just means how many I need left to perfect before I can unlock the next one. So yeah, that's fine. Keep that as a mystery. Alright, so yeah, I don't think I'll fix my camera. Alright, now we can fully send this and go completely balls deep into these puzzles. Let's see, this would create a 3 in a row, so that's safe. 4, 3 is done. This 3 can't be done with a 4, 3. This would create a 3 in a row. 5 can be done. 3 has so many different types of problems. I think that's all I can do right now without going over logic and such. This 4 probably says something interesting with the 3. One thing I want to ask is if this is possible to be a mine. And I think the answer is no, because we create an entire section of 3, making the 3 in a row, making this entire thing impossible, so this spot is safe. Oh, sweet. 4 mines remaining. And these blank spots are probably going to have to do with the total remaining mine count. Well, no matter what, one of these has to be mine, which I guess helps with the 3, meaning that this spot is safe. And then that also means that this has to automatically be mine by default. That creates a 3 in a row. And now we can just check it off. Oh yeah, I love that system. I love it. I do think it's a little quiet. Let me turn up the volume if that's a thing I can do. Keyboard, language, save data, credits. Okay. No? Sound? No, it doesn't. Ultimate mode? What the fuck is ultimate mode? Ooh. I need to do that. That is horrible. Yeah, there's a bunch of really fun stuff that they allow you to do. Yeah, I also forgot about like these. Oh my god, you can just change it here. Oh yeah, but they have their presets. Oh man, that's cool. I always love the original preset. Let me know if you want to see more of those though. Yeah, there was nothing to change. Alright. Alright, back to this. Yeah, I don't think I did all these. Yeah, I did 10 out of 10s with all these. I know there's a total of 100, but, you know, that gets boring really quickly. I mean, I'll probably come back to get 100 on all these later, or maybe if you want to do a stream of it or something, I can, but, you know, it's not necessary, you know, it's not necessary. 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 1. Alright. Alright. Sorry, just get my Fitbit there. Alright, let's see. No. 4 or 3 maybe? Maybe this 3 can tell me something. Like where the blank spot is. Like, let's say the blank spot was here. We create a pattern like so, which creates this blank spot and this blank spot because of this triangulation. So, what if I said that that was a blank spot and we create this triangulation? Well, we still have this as a blank here, which is kind of fascinating. So let's ask, what if we did this? Okay, we officially break that triangulation, but instead we have this as a blank spot. So one of those two is blank, is all I can infer from. I found the starting. All I needed was a good moment to go over this 3 and scan all the outcomes. And good thing I have still 4 more colors I could have done. What? Oh, I see. You're adding those colors to the palette. Ooh, well, let me think about this one. Ooh, that's a good color to add to the palette. Let me also think of like maybe one more I could do. That'll do. Oh yeah, that can easily be shown on there. That can easily be shown. Okay. So, for those of you who didn't understand what any of that was, this spot here is blank. I'm going to explain all the reasoning why. So the very first thing I thought of was this 3, because there's only one blank spot, which means there's only a possibility of 4 different outcomes. So the easiest thing to do was just figure out which spot was blank. So I just started it along the line here, but we can just start here, 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 here. Notice that this spot immediately cannot do a 3 in a row, so it has to be blank. Now, if I switch it to the next color, which is just what I do, it's a good thing to do. It's a good marking system, you know. Alright, you can still see us. Alright, great. So next I just went to here, plugged in all of these bombs again as X's. Well, mines as X's. And it looks like that same spot again cannot be a mine. So then I went on to the next color, which would be blue. Plugging everything in, and I know some of you may find this hard to look at, but you know, I've gotten used to it over the years. And look at that again. It cannot be a mine. It's safe. No 3 in a rows. So I did the final spot. That could be blank right here. And whoop-de-doo-da-dee-da. It's a safe spot. And all 4 outcomes. Every possible scenario. So I can just click it right here. How very neat is that? Alright, we have another thing with this 3. So this is probably going to create some sort of intersections. Now I already know at the most that only 2 of those can be mine, so I can automatically put a mine here. Fortunately, this doesn't help me do too much more. So let's see what else we can do. Now we only have 3 blank spots. Well, let's just start with the obvious here. Work our way around to do this. We already got that done. We already got that done. One of those is a mine, which means this has to be mine, and then that can't be a mine because of intersecting and everything. And of this rule we already figured out with those 2 connecting. So that's one idea. Let's try another idea. Let's say this is not the mine. We got these 2 spots again, and look. Now we create an all new different idea of a scenario. But again, this spot is safe. So let's pay attention to that in common ground. Let's also pay attention to this one right here. This is also safe, and no, wait, that spot doesn't have to be safe. What am I talking about? Does it? Hold on, I need to think for a moment. No, it doesn't have to be safe now. No, it doesn't. By the way, right click is erase. That's why I did that. That's how I did that. Bam. Okay, so just this spot right here is the only thing that's being conflicted. 4 and everything else is being satisfied and everything. Alright, let's try the final solution where it says that this couldn't be a mine. Recreate these solution. Only one of those is a mine, which means that this is a mine again. And then this is safe, but this unfortunately doesn't tell me anything? Really? This tells me nothing. It says it needs to be satisfied here. Ooh, this is interesting. This spot is still safe, so maybe we should pay attention to this spot. We should also pay attention to the fact that this can occur. Oh, okay. Now let's try the final one. Let's say this is the blank. And what do you know? This spot right here can never be a mine. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. And now we have a new number. A new challenger, in fact, with his own different set of rules, so he can probably help us finally start to move this along besides the slow trek of which one can't be a mine game. Unfortunately, I still have no idea really how to do that. I don't know. I really want to play with the idea of this. Because one thing I notice is like it not only clears up, you know, this 3 and this 3, but also this 2. And I feel like it can like start to do some interesting stuff. Alright, let's do a different one where we said that you're okay. What sort of issues does this create now? I don't see any issues. Except this. Is this gonna help me? Yeah, because this 3 now has to have at least 2 going with a 4. And in fact, it would have to be the whole 3 at this point because... Oh, never mind. You could have 2 mines there. That wouldn't be impossible. Actually, no, you can't because if I put a mine here, then this becomes safe. This becomes safe. And then suddenly, this 3... No, that's a 3 in a row. Never mind. That's not even a spot you can put a mine anyway. Oh, this 4 is unsatisfied. So by vice versa, that's a mine. Oh, okay. Okay, that works. That works too. That's one way to start this whole trek. So I think we can try and figure out from this point which one of these is it. Oh, let's do the crazier idea. Let's do the crazier idea again. See if maybe we can find something this time. All right, let's try the other idea. And that also helps with the 2. This 2 needs one of those to go with the 3, so that's that. Does 4 be clear? No, this 4 won't be clear. Only one of those will be mine. Actually, this 4 would only be able to work one way because of all the intersections. And it would work exactly like this. Which creates an illegal 3 in a row. So that red solution cannot work, meaning this is safe. Oh, how very, very fun. How very fun. Alright, let's clear up some blank spots. Alright, 3 in a row. 3 in a row. 4. 3 in a row. 4, 4, 4. No. 3, 2. No. I think we've already been over this with a 3 with its triangulation. But let's go over it again. Let's look at all the blank spots. The 3, you love to see it. Triangulation saves the day again. Boom. That's a 4. Maybe I can answer something with the 1. No, unfortunately not. I was thinking, what if I said that none of them would be mines? I mean, yeah, it does create only one solution. Which breaks the 4. So one of those has to be mines, which means one of these is... Both of those are safe. Let's go, man. What else can I deduce? One of those is mine? Would that help me? Actually, yes, that could help me immediately. Why didn't I just start with that? 3 in a row. 3 in a row. 4. 4. Alright. What else? What else? What else? What else? Maybe this will help me do something? No, it's worth a shot. Ah, that breaks the 3. That's safe. There you go. 3 in a row. Ah. Oh, I can do this 2 now. 3 in a row. 4 to the 3. 3 is done to make this 2. No. Damn it. Maybe I could do a total of mine counts, because there are 3 mines left. And I know for a fact that one of these has to be mine, one of these has to be mine. But then there also has to be 1 mine in here somewhere. Oh, wait, this doesn't help me at all. Oh, wait, does it? One thing... Actually, no, this needs 2 mines each. This does help. Oh my god, I was about to say... This doesn't help me in the slightest. So I see, like, triangle... Oh, but you could still do this with 2 mines. Oh, this is rude. This is all kinds of mean. Well, let's just start with this 3, I guess, and see what the fuck I can find. Do this, and then you. That creates 3 mines. So that's one way to do it. Alright, let's try the middle spot. And then you still need a mine on you. A lot of interesting connections over here. And then the final one. And there would be 1 mine down here. This spot is definitively safe. Bam. Oh, man, that took a bit. That took half an hour for both these puzzles. What the heck? Well, for 2 puzzles, it took half an hour. God damn. Yeah, let's get you some more puzzles, man. Let's get you some more puzzles. You don't deserve just to be stuck here watching the same thing over and over. Oh, what? You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god. Well, the last ones are unlocked, but... See, look at these perfects you need to get just to unlock the next variants, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I want them all on yellow. Whatever. Alright, let's start with the multiple. So the blacks count as 1 mine, and the gray count as 2s. If that doesn't make sense, then I apologize. This is the fun thing about this game. Alright, fun's over. So, let's start with this 4. So each of the black cells count as a 1 mine, and each of the gray cells count as 2 mines. You add the numbers up, that's a minesweeper for you. So I think the idea is, with this 2, 4, since only one of these can be a mine, this one has to automatically be a mine. Yes, I'm right. What else? This 4 goes with this 5. Only one of these can be mine, which creates 1, 2. That makes 4, so that's safe. Alright, what else can I infer? The 4? 4 with 2? 5? 5, I don't know. This 5 has 2 solutions. It has 2 black mines or 1 gray mine. Let's try that. And now it looks like this 2 can have absolutely none of these black spots. So how does that impact the 4? It doesn't impact it by much, but it does tell me about the 5, which makes this 2 possible. All this is done from here. I'm just making a note to myself so I don't forget. And then it looks like we have to do the 4 here, which means that this spot is safe, and then that becomes a mine. This puzzle does work, so let's try it the inverse way. Alright, let's stop right there. Safe, safe. And does this tell me anything? Let's start clicking. No, it does not. Now they have to do more logic, so let me just continue down this fun train. And do this and this. And now because this 4, this is a mine. Boom. Look at that. 6 is doing stuff. And that's all we can do without having to reset and look at the whole thing anew. Okay. So the 6 needs 1 gray mine. Well, maybe this 3 does something first. Yeah, the 3 interacts a lot, so let's just start all over. Go through the same logic again. Maybe something will happen by a miracle. This 3 can now only get... Actually, no, this 3 is wrong. Except no, that spot is always safe. There you go. Easy. Alright, 1 can be our good starter. 1 is our starter. And I know from this 1 that only one of those is going to be a mine, which means that we have to actually only do it from a gray, so that's safe. Cool. Which gray is very unclear. 4 maybe interact something? What is the craziest scenario that there would be an impact? Does this 4 go with this 4? It's not a guarantee. Unless this was to happen. So I think no matter what, that means that those are spots that are safe. I am correct. That doesn't tell me too much, though. Actually, from this point forward, I think I can infer the only way to do this 4 would be to have at least one of these grave spots be active, and because of this, that means that spot is safe. Okay. Interesting how this is going now. This 3 needs one of those black spots to be a mine. This 3 completes that 3, so this is safe. 7 does a lot of work. Just keep on clicking the numbers. Let the puzzle fall into place for me. No. No, we can keep going. This 6 and 3 goat egg there. Done. I love that. It's so much easier to do it that way, too, because you would just get the logic by counting the numbers, so why not allow me to do it that way? I think it just makes sense. I mean, the same can be said from, like, these vanilla up here. No. That's what I've done more of. None of them? Really? Oh, I'm ashamed of myself. Yeah, look how I just, like, go over here. This one has to go with a 3. At least one of these has to go in with the 2. Basic ass logic. 2 and 2 goat egg there. So. This 2 will be also completed by this 4. See, just simple counting of numbers. This is simple. It's very simple. That's why multiple isn't really like really hard variant in comparison to most. There are some really fucking tough variants though in this game. Like really tough. Alright. There's a lot that's going to egg there. I think we should start with this 4 because only one of those is going to be blank. This 5 can only now be done. Actually, there's multiple ways you could do the 5. 4? Same with the 4. Okay. Well, that was unexpected. Maybe we can try to find a solution that fails. That's always a good thing to find because it automatically tells you things that can't be that specific thing. It's very useful. 5 has the same goddamn problem again. Actually, no, the 5 when I was doing it with the yellow was... No, I didn't see that black there. I almost clicked. I almost did something stupid. Nope, I see that now. This 4... this 4 is doing several goddamn things. Just don't tell me nothing yet. Look at this blue of this. Yeah, it tells me that the 5 has to be both or just the singular. And it does tell me through this 4 that it cannot be these, which means it would be both. Which means this would be nothing. Does that do something to the 7? No, but it was close with this 2 interaction because the thing is, you would either do all these gray or all but this one gray. And doing all but this one gray would only make it interact with it through this little spot here. Which actually does tell me that through the correction of the blue, this could never be a mine. Unfortunately, I can't do too much more things besides that because of all these are numbers intersecting. Unless I want to try and work back. Okay, that's something we can infer. It helps to have good penmanship in this game. It can help to have good penmanship. So it could be this, but it could also be that. I need to test both of these? Do I bother testing both? Of course I'd bother testing both. This is going to take a while. The headset's off. Just skip ahead. Now let's try it the other way where I said that this was the mine instead that these were all not going to work. What difference does this make now? The 4 is Dunzo. So what about the 5? Well, the 5 is still going to need this to be a mine, so I can just automatically make that a big X, telling me that those both crossed. Because we need an odd number. And then only one of those at the bottom is going to do something. But again, with this 2, this is safe, this is safe. So does that mean that the 5 again has to have that be a mine? Yes, Rooney, it do. Okay, look at all these things we're getting close to figuring out. They're so common in ground. Now we can probably figure out what went wrong with the red, too. Maybe the 7 is it. Because we have to go off to the right. So, let's see. We have 1, 3. We have 3. Can I make 4 from that? Yes, I can. So we got 4, 3, perfect. Those are our numbers. Fortunately, maybe this can be determined by the blue. Blue? Yeah, the blue is the only one that has only both of those be them. There's 5 again, like I was trying to say. With the 2 means that this is always a mine. Oh my god. I swear to fucking Christ, if this is a false, I'm going to scream. Thank you! Oh my god! Fuck off! Sheesh! I think we all know how long that took. Way too long! Shyster! Look at this mess I created. Look at this fucking mess I created. Oh my god. It doesn't tell me anything anymore, though. Don't tell me nothing anymore. Oh, I need a reset. I need a reset, don't I? Yeah. A blank. Unfortunately, because of this red X, we can't do anything there, so ignore that. What about this 4? One loses it. So again, we gotta do the 1 water. It's so annoying. So, as frustrating as it is, there is a world where that gray doesn't have to be a fucking mine. Oh. No, wait a minute. I did my math wrong. Oh my god. I think, fuck, I'm stupid. I did my math wrong. This is 4. You need a 3. Oh my god. Fuck you! He went through all the solutions, I swear. Why? Okay. So if that wasn't the idea, the only thing I could think of left, no, never mind. There is a mine in the corner here. Mine counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not touching to anything, which means that you cannot just click any of these bots over here. Oh, fuck this level. I'm taking a hint. Are you pulling on my chain here? If I did my math wrong, I'm going to... I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just too many things. Too many. I hate you. I hate you. And this can't be a mine. Are you positive? 'Cause I am going to go through every... right now and tell you why you're wrong. One of these 4. One of the... Well, actually, never mind. It has to go with the 6. No matter what, so... These are blank. And then... Oh, my... I fucking hate myself. Look how easy everything is going to... I hate myself! I see it. I see it. I see it. Oh my god! How did I miss that? How did I fucking miss that? I'm not going to count that as a cheat or a hint because I did technically find it. I just needed to look in a different area. I don't know how when I was doing it all this way. In fact, I'm going to do it all again because I'm going to find out how the fuck I messed that up. Okay, I must have not been paying attention or I was very annoyed and I somehow missed that that was wrong. I somehow missed that that was wrong and I guess I didn't check my whole thing of logic. Forget it, we know what it is. Just get on with the fucking puzzle! Oh, I am not okay. Alright, I'm just gonna... Please, oh please be quick, oh please be quick. I'm not even going to bother. Because I don't give a damn. I know for a fact that this has to do there because it's one of those. Doesn't matter which one, just because it has to be one. You gotta keep it odd. And then because of that, we gotta do this. And this. And then we do 2. Doesn't matter how to do it. There's many ways to do it, so just ignore it. Do that there. All right. Wait. Oh, what the fuck? I was going crazy. I misread this as a 4. Fuck me. Alrighty, whatever. Yeah, because the 1. God, I'm stupid. I'm on the other timelines of counting and everything. Forgive me. Blech. Nothing. That. A lot of chucks are over there. I do that. And 5, 7. Alright, same thing with this 7 is done. Alright. That's there. Now it's only 1. But again, means none of these are possible with it. Thank you. I don't know which one it is though, so let me just do both scenarios. This blue X now gives a new opinion to everything. It has to be you. And since the 4 goes, and I don't want to hear anything in the comments about that, okay? I lost it. I apologize. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done with this. This one. Now we're on the liar rule. The mind count has to be 1 below or above. So this is a 1. This is a 1. This 2 can't be a 3, so it's a 1. This 3 could... No, well... It could only be a 3 or a 2. So this is a 2. What about you? I don't know. Could you be a 3? I don't know. One of these has to be mine. I don't know. These could be the same number or different as well. So this is really going to be hard for my brain to keep track. Maybe I should start with this 4. There's no way it's possible to be a 5 because of this. So it has to be a 3. And there's 2 more mines over here. So this 2 has to definitely go higher, meaning it's a 3. Meaning that there is a 1 mine over here. And there has to definitely also be at least 1 mine in these sections. So this is also a 3. So these 3's complete each other. So this is safe. And because only one of those could be mine, that means both of these are mines. This one is complete. This 3 is not complete yet, but whatever. There you go. This is a 2. This is a 3. This is a 3. This could be a 0. This is a 1. This is a 2. Can't be a 4 because it would be too much. So yeah, it's a 2. So that would be completed over here. Could this be a 3? No, it has to be a 1. So this is a 1, meaning it is cleared. So those are safe. That's a 0. That's a 2. Alright, keep going. I think we gotta do that one with the total mine count at the end, so we can do that. This has to be a 1. So, this can't be a 4. So this is a 2, which means this is safe. There is 1 mine left, and both of these both need mine common ground. Bam, you're done. That was so easy. And I can explain exactly why. Because the thing is, with the liar rule, you only have to look at the numbers to look at all your possible combinations and scenarios. And then after that, it's just basic Minesweeper logic again. Meaning, all I have to do at the most is look at 2 scenarios for everything. That's not a joke. That's legit what it means. So the reason why it took me so fucking long for the rest is because I had to go through like 4 scenarios. Some of which weren't even confirmed and had split paths too. So you can understand that with the total of going up to over 8 scenarios on anything else that is not built on giving you a double track or just as one tracker, it can take a long fucking time to finish. So that's why the multiple rule took so long. And especially with that already being off of basic Minesweeper, of making a expansion rule where this one kind of does a more limitation, it makes it a lot more harder than you think. Alright, let's begin with basics. Actually, gotta click every number. Alright. So this is a 1. This is a 2. If this was a 6, every cell would be filled. That would satisfy the 2. If this was a 6, every cell would be satisfied, which would be cool. But the thing is, because of this 2 here, it cannot be a 4. So this is a 3. Actually, no, I don't know that yet. But instead, I know that this is a 4. At the most, 2 of those have to be mines, meaning that there are at least 3 mines. So yeah, this is a 3. Because it can't go down to a 1. So yeah, that's good. And now let's try the other track over here with this 5. Every cell over here being completely filled out means that this would have to be a 4, so that's impossible. So instead, this is a 4. At the most, 2 of these would have to be filled out, and then there would be at least 2 over here, so this would have to be a 3. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me anything else, but maybe this one can tell me a lot of good stuff. Because this is a 4 and this is a 1. Everything around here can be set as blank. Otherwise, you have too many mines over here. See how easy that is because of all the simpleness. Alright, this 5 is a 4. This 3 is a 2. And actually, I could just start with blop, blop, blop. Boom, that one's done, so I don't need to worry about it anymore. Yippee. Oh, that's a 3. Bro, it's a fucking 3. You don't... Yeah, I don't know what the hell you're trying to tell me. The game's like, oh, it doesn't have to be a 3? Are you fucking serious? Of course it has to be a 3. But I guess you did need to know the logic here to figure out why it is a 3. So I guess that does make sense why it won't just fill in automatically, but whatever. Alright, that's a 4, which means that at least one of those is going to be mine. At least one of those is going to be mine, which would already satisfy the 2, so that means this is a 3. And with this being a 3, it would satisfy with the 4, meaning that these are safe. And that is safe. I don't know about that yet. One thing I also know, because this 1 goes here and this 3 would be uncompleted, so those would both be mines. So this is a 2. This is done. There we go. That's a 4. That's a 2. At least one of those has to be mine, but it doesn't tell me enough. This can't be a 4, so this is a 2. So one of those is mine, meaning that this 4 can never be a 5, meaning this is a 3, meaning that spot is safe. 4, well, I know for a fact that you can definitely not become a 5 because there's not a spot. So you are a 3. And it also means that because the U2 work together, these are both mines. And it looks like we have 3 mines left, so let's do a total counting. One of them goes there. And then you need 2 mines, and you also need 2 mines. The 2 mines would have to go there. Everything else is safe. Blop, blop, and that's where you find the last number. Oh my god. I'm only going to do one more of the liar rule. Well, do I? I don't know, man. God, the liar rule is just so easy, so... What other rule is there? Wall indicates the length of a consecutive mines. Right, that. How about no? You know, I showed you 3 examples today for one video. I feel like that's more than enough. Yeah, one more liar rule. And I'm sorry for the baby voice, but fuck everything. I'm exhausted. Just want to do my baby voice and get everything over with. Okay. Also, I kind of like it. Alright, let's look at some basics. This is a 2, which means this can't be 0, so instead this is a 2, which means those go together, which means this is safe. And in fact, I can finish that. They're 2s. Thank you. This is a 4. This can't be an 8, so this is a 6. At least one of those would be mine. So, oh wait, this is a 1. Oh, which would do the 6 favor, so these are both safe. Everything else besides the 1 can be substituted as an automatic mine. And look at that, too. It's already satisfied, so this is a 3. Alright. Oh, the 5 could be a 6 now. This is getting interesting. Oh, this one's also done. Let's see. This is a 1. And the 1 goes here, and then there can only be at most 1 mine here, which means this is a 2, which means that that spot is safe. What else? Maybe this one would do something. This 5, still nothing, unfortunately. Well, what if it was a 0? Then none of these would be mines here, and then this one would have to do one more mine here. That's possible. What if it was a 2? Then that would make this one have to become a 3, which is impossible. So this is a 0, which means everything here can be clicked off as safe. There you go. The simplest of all logics, the liar rule. This is a 1, which means there's 1 mine over there, and the 3 would not be able to go above a 3 because this would create 1 mine at the most, making that this 3 cannot be a 3. It has to be a 2, meaning this is safe. Let's see, what else? This 3 is already a 2, but it could actually go higher, especially with you in the way. That's not very good. I don't like that. What if it was a 4? Well, at the most, then these would have 2 mines in them, and then you could do 3 mines over here, making a total of 5. Crazy enough, that is exactly what you need. So Wednesday was a 2, and none of those were mines. That would be possible, too. And then this 3 would make that there are 3 mines here, and then there was 1 mine here, and then 1 mine here. Okay, well, this just got interesting. No, wait, this can't be more than a 4. The most you could do 2 mines here. Yeah, because if I was doing a... Well, yeah, that is 2 mines, and... Let's just go off of this. If this was a 4... Actually, no. It would be... Yeah, let's put it right... I don't want to put it dead center because I might mark over it later. So that if that was a 4, there would be 2 mines over here. And let's say that they were here and here, meaning that this would become a 6. And then this would be blank, meaning that there is a mine here. We need 2 more mines. 2 more mines. One at least would go into here, which would create a 3. The other one which could go here. And they both can't go with the 4, so this 4 would be determined as a 3. 1 mine goes here, and another one goes in wherever the fuck you want it to go. Alright, let's try the other idea with a different blank spot. Actually, there isn't another way to look at it for that being a 4. Because this is either a 6 or a 4. So yeah, this is... See, this is what I mean. You don't even have to split paths. You can just decide one or the other. Pretty simply. Alright, so let's go over a red idea. Let's say this was a 2. What happened automatically is that everything is satisfied, so that is blank. That is blank. That is always blank, so I can start with that. Presto. Now I can do this. That's a 2. But let me just, like, grab everything else around here. There. This 3, this 4 would have to still be a 3, so no matter what. This is a 3, and all 3 of those being mines would overclock the 1, making this impossible, meaning the red scenario is impossible, meaning that this is a 6. Alright. So, first off, this is a 2. And then also, for the fact that you can't do 5, this is a 3. 2 mines left. Well, here's the thing. They both need 1 mine. So, any intersection would cause the mine count to be less. So, they are both safe. So fucking easy. Or maybe I'm just good with the liar rule. I don't know. I feel like the liar rule is an easy-ass rule. In accordance to many things, like, most of the rules over here are the more complicated ones. Because if you look at them, this one is talking about the color cells. This one is talking about the rule of the numbers. Another number change. Negation? Negation is also an R change with the total number. Cross. Different, again, number, but also kind of spacing. Pairing, again, a different rule to do with numbers. And then the eyesight, which is another number thing. Now, if you look over here, quad has to do with space. Directly has to do with connection. Connection. Connection of the minds. Connections of the minds again. Connections of the minds again. Connections, well, actually, like, total amount of minds. So there's kind of a pattern for which split path you go. I, for one, find these ones to be most of the time easier because just worrying about the amount of the minds themselves can be quite simple, especially when you can just rely on simple tricks and, like, basic logic, which you can just figure out from time to time. These ones are a whole entire new area of ballpark where you're going to have to learn every single freaking trick and are going to have to do multiple different lines of logic just to figure out the one path that never works. Very similar to most Minesweeper variants, which are just vanilla up here. It's a nightmare. Anywho. Oh my god, I don't even remember this one. Must be 3 in a row. Must be 3 in a row. Because that's a 3 in a row, that's in a 3 in a row, that's in a 3 in a row. That's not 3 in a row, but as long as it's in one of them, it's fine. Alright. And then what was this one? No mines can be a knight's move away. Alright. So again, like, these are similar triplets, so these are going to be easier. Which is why I clear out so many of the anti-knights, especially because I know how the knight moves very, very well. Anywho, and if enough people watch it and I see support for it, I'll do some more grind videos of doing all the variants again with just harder difficulties. But if it doesn't do that well, I will show you only them on the 8x8. That way you can still feel like you're taking part of it, but you just don't see all the unnecessary easier levels. But again, it's going to take a while, so expect much longer videos than this, because this was almost 2 hours of recording. I feel like you're only going to see probably at the most, I don't know, 45 minutes, maybe half an hour at the most if you're lucky. But yeah, it's not easy. It's annoying. So just understand why you may not see all of it. But I'm down for it. I'm down to do more of it, and I think I will come back here very shortly, but probably not too shortly, because I need to see what other games I want to finish there are for things like this. Invento. That's one. Amberward. That's an R. RYB. I could do that one in one sitting. Please touch the arc. That's another one I need to do. And then everything else is just like, you check on it every now and then. Unless I'm ready to like really hammer it down. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, I think for fun next I might do RYB. I don't know. I think it deserves to get out of here forever. But it's such a fun game. Yeah, it's probably next. I don't know. It depends. Okay. Oh, I babbled on enough. Peace out, gamers. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day, everybody. And I will see you all next time. Oh, yeah, I also need to go back to the. Well, that one happens there. Anyway, you have a long edit ahead. And again, let me know if you want to see more of this grind. I'll do it. But I mean, I don't know about you, but. Oh, wait, that's the wrong capture. I think you'd rather see some of this. Some of it. Not all of it, just, some of it. Just look at it all. Now let me know whether I should do more grind. Because I'll do it if you want me to, but only if you would rather do that instead of any of these right now. So, it's up to you. I don't know. We'll see how this does.